Hi, hello, how are you on this fine day? I hope that if you're here, you subscribe to this channel. If you're not already, help us get to 500. And there's a description box that's down below. It has my website, a newsletter, my social media. You should check it out. And you should also stick around to be part of this conversation here that is all about mental health, which ties along with being autistic, just because it's really common for autistic people to also have some sort of history with mental health, mental illness, however that might resonate with you. And I've mentioned it in passing. I haven't dedicated a whole time to just talk about it. So I want to be, as always, totally open. This is driving me nuts. Okay. Just be totally open and take what is stigmatized and continues to be stigmatized, even though we've made huge progress. And that stigma was and continues to be a major special interest for me, mainly because I have lived with mental illness my whole life without really knowing it for a while, obviously, but I chronically have anxiety that I've talked about before. I have depression that I just live with on a daily basis. It's most associated with dysthymia, which is just persistent depressive disorder, which can that fall under just like classic clinical depression? Probably, but for more specific terms. And I have dealt with some sort of eating disorder for, oh man, probably getting up to a decade at this point, which is wild. And all of these are things that I've just learned to live with. And I've found that my mental health was at its worst when I was masking my autism the most, which at the time I didn't know that I was masking and essentially like forcing myself to go against my own nature. It really perpetuated the mental health issues that I already have. I just made it debilitating at that point, which, especially in college, I really dove into that sphere, I guess, of activism, of advocacy, of making that a really huge mission. And it was the focus of my website or blog as it was before. It all came from mental health and being insanely, which is not the right term to use, wildly open and honest about it. And in hopes that it would help other people. And I say all of this because being autistic and a lot of what autistic people go through simply for existing can really lend itself to aggravating mental health and mental illness. So it's so important that we can talk about it and that we emphasize that connection that is really clear in my life, and I'm sure it's clear in others, that the more that we feel forced to be something that we're not and to fit the neurotypical stereotypes, I guess, and the roles that we're supposed to fill as neurotypical people, that's when it all goes downhill. And I can safely say that my mental health has probably been the best it's been for as long as I can remember, which doesn't say much because my memory isn't that great. It's been the best that it's been in a really long time, which I'm so grateful for, but it took realizing I was autistic to get to that place. And going through this second coming of age phase of self-discovery, that's when I've found that I'm at least in a stronger headspace to then live with chronic anxiety and depression, and however that looks every single day, because it can be different. So I honor wherever you are in every aspect of your health, and from saying all I have, it's my hope that being more unapologetically yourself as an autistic person, as a neurodiverse person, can mean that you are truly taking care of yourself. It's so draining, so exhausting, and ultimately in vain to basically live on empty and burn yourself out, which I look back and my heaviest, my darkest places of depression especially were very likely autistic burnout at the same time, which it can be hard to tell the difference, but it's pretty much guaranteed, at least for me, that if I'm burnt out, I'm also very depressed. And the more cognizant we are of who we are and of doing what actually supports our autistic minds and spirits, then we actually have a fighting chance. Which, again, that's really difficult because our world is not conducive to that very well. But in whatever way you can to embody who you are really meant to be, that is just one of your many superpowers. And I think that comes with being surrounded by those that accept you. It comes by setting up your life in a way that honors who you are and what you need, and just learning how to get what you need, the support that you need, however you can, with the resources and the abilities that you do have. So, with all that said, I'd love to start a conversation in the comments below about mental health, how that journey might look for you being autistic or supporting someone who is autistic or neurodiverse. And if you want to hear more about this topic or be more specific, let me know. But otherwise, I'm so grateful that you're here and took the time to listen, and subscribe if you're not already. So many blessings to you this fine day, and I will see you all next time.